Nancy Mace right now, the South Carolina Republican Congresswoman, sits on the House Veterans Affairs Committee, many others. Congresswoman, very good to see you again. This inflation issue, Earth Day notwithstanding, one of the solutions for it, we're told, is the president to channel more spending to make sure that we have not, dropped the ball on this. But of course, that spending has in large part contributed to a good deal of the inflation we're seeing. Where are you on this?
I was just going to agree with you there. We know that the massive spending that we've had over the last 2 years, 2+ years, has added to our inflation woes, and higher taxes will also contribute to that, and all the money the Federal Reserve is printing. But I got to tell you, Neil, I picked up my kids from school yesterday afternoon, and we stopped by the grocery store on the way home. In between my meetings and events yesterday, I spent $157 on groceries just to get us through the weekend, and I'm not sure that it was enough, and I'm not really sure what we got for that. We're seeing the prices of everything from the grocery store to gas going up significantly. And as you just heard President Biden talking about the price of cars, I'm still driving a 2011 Chevrolet. I would love to replace it with a slightly newer model, but not going to do that quite yet because of the cost of cars and vehicles, especially used in this country today. Every working family is feeling the pain that we're seeing every day that I just spoke about.
All right, now, so when it comes to spending initiatives he might contemplate, they don't seem to be going anywhere with Republicans. In fact, not all Democrats, for that matter. Let's say Republicans take control of the House, possibly the Senate. It would seem like there will be a whole different type of activity going on in Washington. If not spending, what will Republicans do?
Well, I hope that and pray that it is. In fact, I just filed the penny plan in the House just a few weeks ago. For every future dollar the federal government spends, you cut a penny. And the federal government, make no mistake, even in the middle of COVID-19, was receiving record tax revenues. And when they shut businesses down, they kept their doors open and didn't have to cut anything through COVID. And I would like to see the federal government be treated the same way they had to treat businesses in this country and make some cuts and balance their budget and look at tax cuts. That should be one of the things that we're looking at when we do get the majority. I think there's going to be a red wave in November in the House. I think it's up for grabs in the Senate. But if we have the majority in both chambers, I want to hear from our leadership that we're going to tackle all these things. And we're in meetings and we're in discussions on how we do that, how we tackle jobs, the economy, inflation. I have to tell you, the supply chain must be addressed. We didn't have a single hearing in any committee last year that I'm a part of addressing supply chain issues. And these are massive issues that also contribute to the supply chain. The invasion of Russia has only invasion by Russia of Ukraine has only exacerbated that situation. And I look forward to working with Republican leadership in providing solutions to all the challenges that have happened and transpired under the Biden administration.
Congressman, you did mention leadership, and I'm wondering what you make of these revelations of Kevin McCarthy, what he said at the time, and that that audio tape has leaked out now that at the time of the attacks, he was even calling for President Trump to resign. Said later on, talking to House members, quote, he bears responsibilities for his words and actions, no ifs, ands, or buts. Let me be very clear to you, as I've been very clear to the president. If this builds to something, do you think he should be your leader in the House?
I support Kevin McCarthy 100%. He supports my campaign, has supported me in office. He's one of the reasons that I'm on the committees that I have today, that I have asked for and earned, both on the transportation infrastructure,
I know
the
that
Veterans
he's been very
Affairs
helpful to
Committee,
you,
and
but he
oversight.
said he had never said these things, and now comes this tape that says he did say these things. So I'm just wondering if his credibility could be in question here, that far from supporting President Trump at the time, he was actually quite concerned about his rationale on January 6th and whether he was imperiling the country, down to even suggesting he resign.
Right. I've read some of the headlines. I have not listened to the tapes personally yet. I'm working about 19 hours a day in the Low Country in the district that I represent.
No, I understand. But
I still support Kevin. I support him. I have confidence.
You would still support him no matter what. It's water
I
under
still
the
support
bridge.
Kevin. Yes, sir. Water under the bridge. I don't. This is kind of I don't think a story that's going anywhere. But I support him wholeheartedly.
Okay, Congressman, very good seeing you. Nancy Mace, South Carolina Republican. We have a lot more.